everybody, welcome back to Handmade. So today we are making something very ambitious. You might remember that 2 years ago I made this cardboard fireplace, and this year Marianne challenged me to make a cardboard Christmas tree. This ended up being like part DIY, part engineering project, but it turned out so festive. So if you want to make your own, here's how to do it. So the first thing to do is to print out the pattern onto cardstock. I put numbers and arrows at the bottom so that you'll know how to arrange them. First though, cut out these shapes from the first page and put them aside for later. Then cut off the right and bottom edges of each page of the pattern and tape them together. Now you can carefully cut out the tree. Next, you'll want to trace this onto a piece of cardboard and cut it out. You will need a lot of large pieces of cardboard for this project, so if you've been doing a little quarantine online shopping, save those boxes. Now we're going to cut out the tree, and this can be tricky, but the way that I did it was to use a craft knife to cut the long curves in the branches. I removed the excess cardboard, and then I used scissors to round all of the ends of the branches. Don't worry about being too exact when you're cutting it out. I actually think the tree looks more natural if it's not perfectly symmetrical. So you'll need to repeat all of that to get 6 tree halves. Look, I never said this was a quick project. You'll definitely want to budget a few days if you're planning to make one. So the next thing to do is to bring back those other pattern pieces from earlier, cut them out and trace them onto the cardboard scraps from cutting out the tree. These are going to be our 3D branches, and I ended up using about 35 of them on my tree, so, you know, cut out about that many. Now it's finally time to start assembling this thing. I'm using this brown paper tape made specifically for cardboard, but you can also use masking tape or packing tape. Just tape together 2 halves of the tree and make sure to trim any excess tape as you go. Then fold them up on top of each other and tape around the edge. That way it can open and close easily like a book. Repeat that for all 3 pairs. Now you'll want to place the branch shapes we cut earlier onto the tree where you want to add 3D branches. Mark the inside and the bottom of the shape and then cut along that line. Carefully push the branch shape through. You might have to wiggle this around a little to get it to push through, but it should be tight enough that you shouldn't need any glue to hold it in place. Repeat that all the way up the tree and on both of the other tree pieces. Next, remove all of the branches and then use more tape to tape the 3 pieces together. There should be 3 more seams to tape so that they're all attached. You can put it in place to see how it's looking, and I realized that it was really hard to get the segments equally spaced out. They're literally taped to the floor for this shot, which is not the most practical solution. So instead, grab the last page of the pattern, which is a base that I designed, cut it out, trace it, and cut it out from cardboard. Then mark a 1" by 2" rectangle on the bottom of your tree and carefully cut that out. Now you can slide the base onto the bottom of the tree, and it just keeps everything spaced out and it makes it a lot more sturdy. You can see how I can pick it up, move it around, looks great, but you know, just ignore the slippers and the pajamas here. This is my natural quarantine form, and I'm not apologizing for that. So finally, decide what color you want to paint yours. I decided to go with a pastel green, although I'd recommend spray paint because this took literally forever to paint by hand. So after all of that, it is time for the final assembly. Slide the branches back into place, add a tree skirt, tinsel, and of course, lightweight ornaments. This project is so fun because we used old boxes and we turned them into an actual Christmas tree that we can actually decorate. I think this would be so cute for a kid's room or a small apartment where you don't want to get a full-size tree. So let's just take a minute to admire all of our hard work. It was a lot, but I mean, what else are you doing while we're all staying home this winter? All right, well, pretty soon, I'm pretty sure my entire apartment is just going to be a cardboard winter wonderland. I'd love to know if you're making any of your own Christmas decorations this year, and if you have any ambitious projects planned, or if you think you're brave enough to take on the cardboard Christmas tree. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe, and I hope you all have a wonderful holiday.